hope you're doing well. We are going to get started in just another minute. I'm going to just do a little bit of management in our meeting room, make sure our guests are muted and presenters. Please do me a favor. While I'm doing this right now, I would really appreciate you let us know where you're all tuning in from. We absolutely love that part of the presentation, and also I'd like you to do me a favor and welcome any guests that we may have on the call. Those of you who are members and have been for some time. There's a very specific reason for this call for those of you who are guests. And welcome Yellowknife, wonderful. Awful lot of Europe in the house. Welcome to all of you. See a bunch of Canada here. Some South Africa, all over Africa. I see a lot of Canada in here too. That's fantastic. So we're going to give maybe another 30 to 60 seconds for the room to populate, and then we'll dive into things. All right. Now, do me a favor. Let me know if you are here for the very first time. Actually, let's do it this way. For those of you who are already using this extraordinary platform, yeah, already turned to perfect. Everyone knows what I'm doing. That's great. And anyone who's already using this extraordinary platform, or you're seeing daily gains from the CFX platform, go ahead and type a number 2 into the chat. Hey, Luigi. That's fantastic. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm glad for the 2s. Now, if you're here for the very, very first time and you are not using the platform yet, you're having a look at the project for the very first time, do me a favor and type a number 1 in the chat, just so everyone knows that you're here and I can welcome you. Thanks very much. We certainly appreciate that. Now, for those of you, of course, that are using the platform, we've got some very, very exciting stuff that's going to be rolling out in the coming days, weeks, and months. But what we're going to focus on right now really is not only helping you hone your skills as far as understanding the CFX platform and how best to share it with others, but also to make sure that those of you who are here for the first time have a very clear understanding as to what exactly this platform has to offer and the benefits that so many members all around the world are getting from it. Now, I am going to temporarily stop our screen share just for a moment because I need to make sure that our audio is connected. Share sound. There we go. All right, we should be all good to go. We've got a couple of videos, very short videos for you in here. We want to make sure you can hear them loud and clear. Okay, I've got 2 minutes after the hour. I'm just going to unlock a couple more people that are going to be helping in presentations today. And then we'll dive into things. Okay, all right, onwards. So again, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedules. Happy Friday to all of you, and unless, of course, you're in Australia, it's Saturday already. The weekend's there for you. But for those of us that we've still got Friday ahead of us, or at least Friday night ahead of us, happy Friday to all of you. Let's talk a tiny bit about the purpose behind this CFX movement. There's a very genuine and a very important intention behind this CFX social movement. We're going to play a 60-second video, and then we'll talk about it a little bit further. At this time of unprecedented worry and anxiety, driven by a single virus, baffling the brightest minds in science, there are lessons that we can take from this global pandemic. We are all equal, regardless of our culture, religion, occupation, financial situation, or social status. It is reminding us that we're all connected, and something that affects one person affects another. It is also reminding us just how important family and home are, how providing for those we love is of critical importance, especially in times of crisis, and how difficult or even impossible that can become under certain circumstances. The world we know is going to change. There's no escaping that fact. One thing still in your control: what you do with your time.
There's a tiny percentage of people globally that are completely free of debt, not beholden to anyone. And as incredible as that may sound, anyone can accomplish a similar degree of this success. With proper guidance, you can attain the same freedom and the same peace of mind to enjoy family and friends, regardless of what may be happening in the world around you. While real financial security is available to everyone, it doesn't happen on its own, and it's not easy, but it is absolutely possible for you. To learn what steps you can take today, and to make sure that you're numbered amongst those that are financially free, get back to the person that shared this video with you and take action today.
So the purpose behind this new social movement is, well, it's certainly a serious one. And it's one that the company itself is not taking lightly. When you have a technology that has been years in development and you have 23,000 users around the world representing almost all the countries on the planet, and they're using it successfully, it's very important for the corporation itself to help facilitate those members to share this platform with others, especially now, especially with what's happening in the world around us. And we know that there is genuine need all over the place, whether it's individuals that need to supplement because their work has been stunted, or whether it's individuals that need to replace because their career has been automated or COVID has pushed their workplace into a long-term foreclosure. Whatever the case may be for you or may be for your friends, for those of you that are members, it's really important that you understand that there are people around you right now that are worried. They maybe have a difficult time sleeping at night. They're not telling you. They perhaps are not telling anyone. And so for us to be sensitive to maybe what could be happening to those people we care about all around us right now, I would encourage all of you to do exactly that. So let's dive into the specifics of CFX and why this is having such a significant impact, how it's having such a significant impact. And for those of you who are here for the first time, how with just a couple of mouse clicks, as that first slide indicated, how you could connect to this platform and start having an impact on your financial well-being instantly. So a couple of industries that this market touches upon. The first is, we call it e-learning. Take a look at the left-hand side of the screen. E-learning, I think, really shoved itself to the forefront of our consciousness over the last 8 weeks as we hear about Zoom and some of our favorite celebrities and some of our favorite vlogs and bloggers and online people that we follow all starting to put Zoom presentations together. It's funny, actually. There's this movie I watched when I was a kid. It was this, I think, a Steven Spielberg produced movie called The Goonies. These kids in Portland, and they went a little pirate treasure search, and the whole cast got together last week and did a Zoom presentation for all their fans of that movie for 30 or 40 years ago. So there's a whole an endless list. I was listening to the author Malcolm Gladwell, and he has his own podcast, and he's been doing Zooms from his home in upstate New York. Many of you have written Malcolm Gladwell books. They're best-selling books. And they do touch on economy. In fact, and Alicia Keys was one of his guests. And that's someone that you would normally never expect to be a guest of Malcolm Gladwell's. And she sung a song that she wrote when she was 14 years old. And he was just talking about the opportunity that's coming from our ability to connect with each other in this way, something that he perhaps would never have been able to see before, let alone have her do on his podcast while connected to his Zoom account. So this e-learning, this projection of $325 billion by 2025, we could actually be blowing that number out of the water because of the huge disruption that we've been facing over the past 8 weeks. But if you take a look at the bottom bullet point, maybe having to learn or having to spend time in an e-learning environment isn't all bad. 40 to 60% less learning time than in a classroom environment. That's a really significant statistic. Now, on the other side of the screen is the other market that is we participate in, we have a footprint in, and that's the global Forex market. And you can see, in fact, the New York Stock Exchange. Many of us, of course, see the New York Stock Exchange in our favorite movies and television programs. Occasionally, companies that we follow, you have CEOs of those companies. When those companies go public, they're ringing the bell in the stock exchange. That's a massive, so much money moves through that market. And look at the size of that market, $20 billion, certainly nothing to sneeze at. But if you take that and the global equities market, the global futures market, and you added them all together, they are a tiny little dent in the footprint of the global Forex market. All of the money that's moving all around the world. So there's a very specific reason and a huge benefit to CFX in alignment with the global Forex market. And there are some very specific benefits to the global Forex market. I'm going to play a little short 2-minute video for you that gives you a little bit of a crash course. Someone do me a favor, give me a thumbs up if you can see, or if you can hear the audio in this video.
The foreign exchange market, or Forex for short, is a global, decentralized, over-the-counter market for the trading of currencies. This market determines foreign exchange rates for every currency. It includes all aspects of buying, selling, and exchanging currencies at current or determined prices. You have probably already participated in the Forex market. If you've ever traveled to another country, you would have exchanged some of your own country's currency for the currency of the country you're going to visit. If you didn't spend all your exchanged currency and deposited it into your bank account when you returned home, and that currency went up in value during your vacation, you would have received more of your home currency for your exchange currency when you deposited your excess foreign currency into your bank. This is also how you make money in the global Forex market. There are plenty of ways to invest your money. Lots of people purchase stocks or bonds. The Forex market has several advantages over the stock and bond market. Stock and bond markets frequently have bull periods and bear periods. A bull period is identified when just about everything in the market is going up. A bear period is identified when just about everything in the market is going down. While it's easy to make money in a bull market, it's much harder for a trader to make money in a bear market when prices are falling day after day. In Forex, there never really is a bear market or a bull market, since each trade consists of buying one currency while selling another. The market never really goes up or down as a whole. One currency going down naturally means the other counter currency is going up. All that matters is the currency you're interested in is either going up or down. Secondly, the Forex market in general is a level playing field. There are no mergers or acquisitions or inside trading to make the market move unexpectedly. The Forex market is the biggest market in the world, with over $5 trillion a day traded. So no one entity is ever big enough to control a market of that size. The market trades 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's 124 hours of continuous trading time available to you. You can start trading at 9 a.m. Monday morning in Sydney, Australia, and wrap up your trading on Friday at 5 p.m. in New York. So the market is ready and waiting for you anytime you want to trade. And because the market is so big, odds are you'll never be stuck in a trade. If you want to get out of a position, you can almost always find someone to buy or sell with. Trades are executed within seconds. Central banks and the global banking industry, governments, financial institutions, multinational corporations, and about 90 million home-based retail trading enthusiasts all trade in the global Forex market.
So that gives you a little bit of an insight as to why this is the market that we have so carefully aligned ourselves with and the benefits from doing so. So CFX, its focus is entirely Forex based. So let's talk about some of the CFX advantages. Now, right from the very beginning, transparency is absolutely key. Very good friends of mine, Justin Bruni and Luigi Halliday, reached out to me when they were exposed to this platform through a very good friend of theirs that they had nothing but respect for. And it was the opportunity to start really investigating the project behind the scenes. Who's running the show? What kind of operating principles do they run their companies with? And this is a wonderful starting point. And this is why we make sure that all of you also have access to these individuals on a regular and reoccurring basis, so you can get a sense of the individuals running the company as well. But in addition to that, transparency built right into the systems is also key for you. Transparency that we're going to focus on, and you'll see reoccurring through, and I'll point it out a few times throughout this presentation. So the purpose is really quite clear, and that is to bring the complexity and the challenges, but also the opportunity for incredible profit of the global Forex market in a very simple way to individuals all around the world. That's the goal. Now, that's not an easy goal, to take the complexity and the immensity of the Forex market and really simplify it so anybody can be successful in that market. That's the goal. How are they doing what they're doing? We're going to talk a little bit about that automation as we proceed through this presentation. Before we do, though, let's touch on the principles behind all of the teams that are doing all of the heavy lifting for all of us members. Huascar Lopez, Edwin Abad, two founders of the company, serial entrepreneurs, individuals that I would consider very well versed in a variety of different types of businesses, and all of that experience does nothing but help business owners when they're moving forward in high-level success-based projects. One of the things that's very important for you all to understand, without getting too personal about these gentlemen, is that they have runs on the board already. Very significant wins in their business careers. We're not all working on a project with a corporate team trying to create their first success. That isn't the case. If that had been the case, it would be someone else talking to you right now, not me, because I would not have gotten started. It's very important that you align yourselves with individuals, and then individuals pick the right people to be around them to run companies effectively and efficiently, profitably, and all those things come from experience. You don't want to learn business management, business success on the fly. So that leads us to the teams that Huascar and Edwin have put in place. And of course, you've heard the name Ron Pope from the Conversion Pros, and he heads as an independent contractor many of those teams from all of the things that you interface with on a daily basis, whether it's your back office or whether it's you're checking your trade results or whether it's you're checking your genealogy when you share the platform with someone else, whether you're looking at web TV. All of these various and key important elements that are connected to the back office of the platform are all put together by his team, very significant team of dozens and dozens of programmers. And then in addition to that, running parallel to them would be support staff and graphics teams and teams of specialists building out the academy. And you'll learn what that is if you're a guest in just a couple of seconds. The bottom line is there are many, many people under the corporate umbrella, all linked arms, making sure this platform runs smoothly and has a very long, sunny, and bright future. So corporate offices. Corporate offices are key. We just talked about a very large team, and having representation from each one of those divisions under one roof can really have a significant impact in how smoothly a company runs. There's nothing wrong at all with web-based meetings, but occasionally from time to time, there's also real big benefit in bringing all of the crew together and having opportunities for certain individuals during certain project development to be able to rub shoulder to shoulder. And this is where that'll happen. 10,000 square foot facility in Panama City, Panama. Now, many of you on this call have already been in this location, because I remember the looks on your faces when you saw that wall of TV monitors that you can see in the picture number 2 and the bottom picture number 3. And for those of you who haven't been there yet, it really is a whole wall. But the other thing that's important for you to understand is the location. The location for this office is key, and it's strategic. Panama City, Panama is, some people refer to it as a bit of a nickname as Little Dubai. And that's because it is a financial center, and there is banking representation in Panama City from countries all around the world. European banks, Asian banks, South American, American, and Canadian banks, they're all represented in Panama. My local bank I saw while I was walking around the streets in Panama. And if you go on picture number 3, you take a look at the lower photograph and you walk straight ahead to that wall of windows and you peer to your left, you can see the ocean, how the coast curves and the city wraps around the curve, all the skyscrapers that run right up to the coast. And then if you look to your right, and you look far enough down the coast, you can actually see the canal, the Panama Canal. So very specific location chose for very strategic reason. And as it speaks to the commitment of the platform and the people behind it, this was a purchased office. This is not a leased. This was a real commitment that was made by the company for the long-term success and home for all of us. The last thing I want to share with you about this slide is that this is an open door policy. Anytime that you want to go and let the company know you plan on being in Panama for the specific purpose of having your pictures taken here, sending some videos home, whatever the case may be, you're always welcome. All right. So this is really the lifeblood of the platform. This is why all of you not only are sitting here, but why many of you are enthusiastically sharing the platform with others. It's the results that the professionals and the technology have been able to create for you and for everyone using the platform. So if you take a look at the top paragraph, that lowest or bottom sentence really says it all. A specific team of professionals with extensive experience both in Forex trading, EA design, and management. And that's a mouthful, and there's a lot of things going on in that sentence, but essentially a very specific focus in the Forex market exclusively. EA is an abbreviation for expert advisor. Very simply, it's software. It's a program written specifically for trading inside the Forex market. It's a form of automation, and especially with our style, CFX style of high frequency trading, it's one of the things that plays a key role in the extraordinary results that we've been enjoying all the way through to the very beginning of the pre-launch, which was late July of 2019. So we're approaching, or maybe we're just crossed over 10 months. A very, very long and healthy run so far, with, of course, many, many more months to come. But what I want to focus on just for a moment is the fact that not only are the EAs being designed in-house, when I see in-house, I simply mean they're not purchased. No white label, no third party. All staff for CFX. Expert staff, obviously, specialized staff, but staff nevertheless. They're part of the CFX corporate family, and they're here to stay. And so by designing and being able to have the same crew that designed your tech able to manage it, it really helps in making sure that we run those EAs as efficiently and as effectively as possible, not only for your gain, but also for the company's gain as well. Now, we talked about transparency in those early slides, and one of the ways I said that it was going to manifest itself is something called Web TV. So if you take a look at the computer screen in front of you right now, you can see that screen shows that this is a Euro Aussie dollar trade. You can see the green and the yellow candlesticks. You can see that's probably an entry point for the trade. And those trades, you can watch them happening in Web TV live. And this is something you can access from your mobile phone, or from your computer or desktop, or you can also access from a tablet. So one of these days, when you get permission to leave the house again, and you can go meet friends at coffee shops, you'll be able to flip open your smartphone and very easily show your friends what you've been up to while you've been trapped at the house. And they'll be able to see live trades happening right in front of their eyes. So let's talk about another part of the tech that's so critically important to this company. Flash to show off the Academy. Now, remember at the very beginning, we were talking about Malcolm Gladwell and Alicia Keys singing on his podcast, and we were talking about e-learning and what an impact e-learning is starting to have on the world, all around the world. Well, this is how e-learning manifests itself in our company through what we call our CFX Academy. I want you to think of it as an online university. We call it the Academy for very good reason. And the idea behind it is very, very good. At some point, CFX for all of you will be a full service company. Whether you want to rely on a full automation that you're using at the moment, or at some point, whether you want to interact with a set of signals and have a hand in how the process works and how you're making gains, or whether you want to actually develop the skills that you could take with you anywhere you go and learn how to trade like a pro. The Academy was designed to help facilitate all of these things. So you can see it's broken down into 3 series. We call the Elemental series at the top, the Advanced series, and then the Supreme series. And each one of those series has a different job to do. There's modules that make up each one of them. The Elemental series does exactly what you probably are guessing it does. It really is your crash course into the basics of how the Forex market works. And then as you move into the advanced or advanced professional series, it's where you start to connect the dots. Not only do you understand how the money's made in the market, but now you actually get to take those actions that create profit within the Forex market. But most importantly, I would suspect would be the Supreme series, simply because this is where you develop the mental strength, the mindset, the psychology, mastery of a professional trader, so that you are truly in control of your actions and you're not a victim of any sort of emotional trading that can really beat up even the most seasoned professional traders. So that's all about the Supreme series. In fact, there are elements of the Supreme series where you'll even have an opportunity for one-on-one coaching. So all three of these combined create the online university that we call the CFX Academy. Now, this is something that will be interactive in nature. There'll be quizzes before you're allowed to progress to the next modules. And the way you start to unlock that academy is with what we call trading packages. So before I dive into these trading packages, I'm just going to unmute a couple more of our guests so they're ready to take over when it is time for them to do so. Just bear with me. Co-host. Yes. And geez, we got a full house. Welcome, everyone. One more co-host. All right, so let's talk about these trade packages, because I'll tell you there's some very, very exciting information to share when it comes to trade packages. And the reason for that is that you can get started anywhere you want in what we call a trade package ladder. And you can see in front of you right now that there are 5 different trade packages that represent the Elemental series. You remember, the Elemental series was that first beginner crash course, really getting your feet wet and understanding the global Forex market. So you can start at $300 and range all the way up to $3,000. First of all, you'll notice if you look at the $300 package right at the top, it says Academy Pack right next to it. And then there's a number. That number is 30% of the value of the icon representing the $300 trade pack. If you take a look at the $500 pack, there's a number next to that, 150. Well, that's 30% of the value of a $500 trade pack. And you look all the way down the list, the same math applies. 30% of 1K is 300, 30% of 2K is 600, 30% of 3K is 900. Now, the way this works very simply is you can start anywhere you want to start. In fact, you could also start at advanced, or you could also start at Supreme trade packs. Regardless of where you choose to start, you're unlocking that section of the online university and anything that precedes it. So if you don't start at 300, if you start at 500, 150 unlocks 2 sections for you. If you start at 1K, well, that unlocks 3 sections for you, and so on. So when we move into the advanced, you can see from $5,000 all the way down to $20,000. But the math applies. 30% of the value of each one of these packs unlocks that section of the online university we call the Academy. And the same thing in the Supreme series. Exactly the same thing applies, exactly the same thing, or math. Now, here's what I want to share with you that I think is going to have everyone who's a guest extremely excited. You can start anywhere you want, as I just mentioned, but you have the opportunity to take a portion of your gains from trade package to trade package, and you can move your way up the trade package ladder. I want to share something with you. There's a friend of mine that I reached out to, and he got started in CFX with a $300 trade package. And he loved the project. Once he started to see his trading results come in on a regular basis, once he started to play around with his back office and just see how well run and organized his back office was, guess what started happening? He started sharing it with a few friends, and they started sharing with a few friends. Well, today he's on a $100,000 trade package. And that means he has $70,000 at work in the Forex market. And guess how much money he put in from his pocket? That original $300 and not another penny. So this is something that not only can every single member in the CFX family look to accomplish, to match, it's actually the intention of the company for every single one of you eventually to be on a $100,000 trade package. And that's phenomenal, because depending on where you live in the world, maybe you have an opportunity for a very comfortable and easy retirement, but I'll tell you the vast majority of the planet doesn't. And so for you to have an opportunity to set yourself up for a long-term healthy retirement based on successful trading in the global Forex market, and you could do it for a $300 starting position or a $500 starting position, that is truly, well, certainly potentially life-changing. And it's so wonderful seeing so many people that got started 10 months ago, 9 months ago, 8 months ago, starting to approach these trade package positions now in the company. So, in fact, if you are on any one of these Supreme trading packages, I want you to just leave a note in the chat for everyone else. We'll talk a little bit about how this ladder also drives some incredible success within the reward side of this platform in just a couple of minutes. But before, we got some really important business to cover. For those of you who are guests or those of you who are new to CFX, we've got a very important surprise for you, an opportunity for you to listen to one of the founding developers of this platform, someone who not only has been crucial in launching the company, but was working on this beyond a year beyond our starting position, our pre-launch position. So this was something that was being developed in their minds for a long, long time. And a lot of work has gone into bringing us to this point. So please help me welcome CEO of CFX, Huáscar López, to the call. Let me make sure I unmuted him.
Thank you very much, my friend. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you.
Good to hear, good to hear. Well, I've been, I was in the call this morning, and it was like maxed out call, like 500 people. And I got a chance to, enjoy a lot of comments from new people. It was more than 60 people, new people, or more than 100 people new. So we got very excited when I heard that Lisa on your team, she was with such an enthusiasm in Panama, and she's such a wonderful person, and I'm just happy for her because I see that she's moving forward. She's growing. Her team is kicking off, and it just it feel good when you get to see people from in one point of their lives or their careers, and then you can see a few months ahead, and then you can see the advance. So basically, this is what's going on here on CashFX. We see people from one in one way, and then we see it in another way, better. So this is the whole point of recognition here, guys. I wanted to welcome Lisa Scott from the United Kingdom. She's a new, hot manager. She's moving forward to director. So today we're celebrating her. And I want to, talk a little bit with her because I got to meet her in Panama, and I want to know how is the experience going. Welcome to the call, Lisa.
Hi, can you see me? Can you hear me?
Very well. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Yeah, I just want to start off by saying thanks to John Kinnear for thinking about me in a pre-launch. I had no idea what I was joining, and I actually wasn't looking for anything at the time, but going to Panama just completely headed my life in a different direction, and it's been a whirlwind ever since. I absolutely love CashFX. I love the automation, because I'm not a Forex trader. I don't want to be. I've been working online, trying to find passive incomes now for the last 6 years, and this is the ultimate one for me. I've not worked for 6 years, but if I did have a job, I wouldn't be working now. I've already climbed to the 30K contract.
Wow, that's good to hear. Congrats, congrats.
And the results that we get every day is stunning, but that ecosystem for me is just mind-blowing. We've got about 400 people nearly in the team now, in about 18 countries at least, and it's literally exploding. And the energy and the excitement of everybody. So if anyone's listening tonight, just thank you for supporting me and joining me. We met a lot of amazing leaders in Panama, and that week was just really special. Can't wait to come to Punta Cana.
Well, we'd love to see you in Punta Cana. We're, very anxious and excited to have that event because we put in so many months and so many people involved in that huge event. And now it's gonna be even bigger, because after all this time, people want to go out. People is anxious to go out and travel again to feel, what is like to be out there, traveling, sharing with other people, with the community. Of course, the community is really more bigger now. We're more members, and it will be more and more every time. So, Lisa, it was your first trip to to see a company to share and let's say experience that with an MLM company out there from outside your United Kingdom.
I've done networking in the past, but nothing on this scale and the success that everyone's having. It's just really refreshing. It's a breath of fresh air, CashFX. It's changed my life and it's changing my family's life and many friends as well. So thank you, Bhaskar.
Well, it's good to hear. Thank you for being part of this family. We're you say so naturally, this changed my life, but for us it's an honor. It's such a privilege to hear that from you, and to see the impact that we're having in your family and your friends and everything. So we get excited and I just can say, keep moving forward, keep growing. We're doing the best we can to have a long-term company, to build something that lasts for many people to be considered a home. So for you, one of their pioneers, joined the company and been through the whole let's say growing process in the company, the developing things that we're doing. You're the one who can say, okay, we started in this point like this, and now we are in this point like that, and we're looking to moving forward this way. So for us to have you as a leader taking our message mean a lot, and congratulations again on your manager rank, and we hope to see you in director very soon.
Thank you, Bhaskar. Thank you, everyone.
Lisa, thanks very much. That was awesome. And man, your team is moving, because I remember we talked not long ago and the number didn't have a 4 at the front of it.
Wow.
And it's
flying.
Yeah, absolutely flying. There's just new members joining every day. We all go to bed excited, ready for the next day. Life is good. And also,
that's great to hear.
You get to pay it forward, because I've helped a few people to join CashFX. Because it's changed my life so much. It's nice to give back to others.
That's awesome. Very much looking forward to seeing you in Punta Cana.
Yeah.
Oh, here's our friend and also almost co-founder, one of the pioneers who has been behind the company, building the infrastructure with us, and in the technology side, is going to talk about our compensation plan. And he's he's a expert communicating. It's good to see you again, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing real good, my friend. How are you?
Good. Excited. Every day we got more and more a guest and more leaders growing. So I think whatever we're doing is working.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, welcome to the call, my friend. I handed the mic to you, and for all of you that are joining our call, welcome to the family. Welcome to CashFX. We're excited to have you and to see you grow with everybody here in the company. Have a great afternoon, everybody. I'll leave you with Mr. Rumpo.
Thank you, Oscar. Appreciate it.
And thanks very much, Oscar. Thank you very much for taking the time to be here. And Ron, thank you also. We know how flat out busy you are. I described earlier with all the teams at work, and of course, you have to be part of all of those. So we really appreciate the opportunity when we have to get part of the presentation coming directly from you.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I just want to share a conversation I had with Waskar recently about, you know, how does CashFX become the premier company in its space? How do they become the biggest? And when it came right down to it, we narrowed it down to a very simple concept: just be the best. You know, everything that we do, just do it the best that we can possibly do it, whether that be trade results, or that's the academy, or that's, you know, parts of the compensation plan, the product. You know, just do the best that we can in every single aspect. Look at what the competitors are doing and do better. And so I think that's what you guys are seeing here. For anybody that's been with CashFX for a while, is it's the constant evolution of the company. The company, one thing I love about it is they listen to the field. Okay, there's groups with leaders that are set up that the leaders can bring feedback and things, and so that is absolutely critical in developing and evolving CashFX to become that premier, that number one company in its space. So just want to share that. All right, so jumping in here, let's jump right into some terminology that confuses some people. Okay, I know when we first launched CashFX, this was one of the biggest questions. Because it's common terms, bear and bull. Okay, those are common terms in trading that mean a completely different meaning than what it does here at CashFX. Okay, the bear market is typically a market that's heading down. A bull market is a market that's heading up. All right, but with CashFX, the difference between these is a bear capital is simply someone who's come to CashFX doesn't want to refer other people. Okay, they just want to get the product, and they want to have limited involvement and you know, be able to be involved in the trading pool. So get their academy. You know, that's absolutely okay. Absolutely okay. This company has been developed around that, and then they added the bull side. But on the bear side, let's just put this in our head for a second, because we're going to talk about bears and bulls quite a bit here in the next few minutes. All right. So a bear is simply someone who came to the company and has not referred anyone. Okay. Now, as soon as, which tends to be the trend here, as soon as you start to see your results, one of the first things that you do is you pick up the phone and go, "You'll never believe what I'm seeing with this company." It's just human nature, right? You go watch a good movie. What are you going to do? You're going to tell everybody about that movie. "Hey, I just saw this great movie." Now, if you went and watched a movie and it sucked, you're probably not going to tell too many people. You might, you know, when it comes up in conversation, it'll be, "Oh, that was a terrible movie." But when you like something, you get excited about it, you want to share it. Okay. And that's when you move into the bull side. The bull capital is created as another 2x. Okay. So on bear, you can make 2 times your money. Okay. So if you came in with a, you know, $1,000 package, you can make up to $2,000. All right. But that's just on the bear side. That's the passive side of it. But as soon as you refer at least one person, it opens up a whole nother spectrum of compensation that you can take advantage of. Okay. Another 2x, another 200% of your initial package value. So again, if you're on $1,000 package, you have the ability to earn up to $2,000 on the bear side, but you can also earn up to $2,000 on the bull side. Okay. As you guys get involved, you know, you'll learn different aspects about that, what caps are and things like that. But let's keep it simple here today. So that's the difference between a bear and a bull. All right. And then rank levels. Each trade package includes the leadership program points, which you'll see here in just a moment. And your own personal packages that you buy, they don't actually count towards your rank advancement. All right. It's the individuals that you've referred to the company as they purchase their packages, as they upgrade their packages. Those points count towards your rank advancement. Okay. So here's a perfect example right here of what I was just describing verbally. So let's take a physical look at it. So on the bear side, 70%, okay, of every single trade contract that you have is going to go into the trading for you. Okay. So in this example, you have a $2,000 package, or excuse me, let's use a $1,000 package. $1,000 package. 70% of that, or $700, goes into trade for you. Okay. What happens to the other 30%? Well, this is some of the industry first. A lot of times what you have is companies that are, trying to get as much of that as they can. When a product is sold, the company wants to retain profit from that. What's very unique about CashFX, though, is they don't. They give 100% of the money from the product back to you, the field, people that are referring the business. Okay. How does that look? Well, we have $1,000 package. We know 700 went into trade. The other $300 or 30% of your trade package does exactly this. It will split out between two different compensations. You got your fast start compensation. Half of that goes in there. So the minute the blockchain confirms the transaction, okay, you get a fast start right now, in real time, put into your balance in your CashFX back office that you can withdraw. Okay, so in this scenario, you just made $150, right? Now, the other half of that 30%, or the other $150, is going to go into the unilevel bonus. All right, in which, because it's a personal referral, it's going to land on your first level. We'll go into unilevel in a second, but you're going to receive 10% of that. So in this scenario right here, you made $150 in fast start. And then that Saturday, okay, the unilevel commissions get pushed into your balance account as well. So you made a total of $165 for referring one person with a $1,000 package. Not too bad. 100% of the product value got dispersed back to the field right there. Okay, John, next slide. The trading results. And I know John talked a little bit about the trading and stuff. And this, the reason we keep coming back here is it's absolutely critical for you guys to understand that, CashFX uses proprietary technology. So even in the live trades and things that you can see through the web TV in your back office, certain things have been redacted. All right. It's proprietary, but they use a proprietary technology combined with the professional Forex trading team and technicians. All right. So we've got individuals that had been doing this. And one of the things I always say when I'm talking about CashFX, because I've been consulting globally in this market for over 20 years now. And another industry first is the fact that, they didn't come up with a compensation plan and they go, okay, what product do we put with this? All right. Waskar had already done extremely well in Bitcoin. And so he had already gotten his trading platform in place that he was using with his own personal funds. And but Waskar and I have been talking for the last 9, almost 10 years now about, hey, if we could just find something that would work for millions of people, we could get a home run, put it out there, and help multiple economies. Well, the light came on for him, and he's like, wait a minute, what I'm doing right here with my own personal funds, I could offer this to the public. And so he called me May 2019 and asked if I would take on the project and help out on the programming side of things, on the consulting, so on and so forth. And when we started going through things, I realized he had that home run. He had that project that he had come up with as a byproduct of already doing this for himself, okay? So that's really important to understand. He didn't come up with a compensation plan and then try and fit a product to it. He already had the product. He already had the education. He already had, the ability to trade. And then that's when he spent the next 6 months after that, after he knew, for a year of trading that his success rates were extremely high. Then he took the next 6 months, developed a compensation plan, and rolled it out. So totally different than what I would say probably 90% of the companies that come into the network marketing space. They do the opposite. They come up with a comp plan, sell the comp plan, and then try and figure out the product. Okay. So I don't want to spend too much more time on that. I just wanted to impact with you guys that this is a company that did it right. They had the product, then they came up with the way to bring it to the public. There's no guarantees in professional Forex trading, guys. If you've never done Forex trading, I've been doing it now for, 15, 16 years. The success that you're going to receive is the success that happens from Monday through Friday. All right. So as those trades are happening, you're going to have a max trade earning cap of 15% for the week. Okay. It doesn't mean you're going to receive 15% a week. This is a compliant company. They're not saying, hey, you're guaranteed 15% a week. No, what happens on Monday, at the end of Monday, they take those results and through their algorithm, some goes to the company, the rest goes to the field. And that's what's going to determine your percentage for that day. Okay. There's no guaranteed ROIs on this. There's no guaranteed timeframes on this. Simply the fact that at some point you will get 2 times your original trade contract value, at which time your trade contract expires and you can choose to renew or upgrade prior to expiration. Okay. But it's all based on the success that's achieved through the trading team. John, next slide. Okay, we touched on this a little bit ago, the fast start bonus. Again, every package has 30% that goes towards the academy. Okay, and then like I mentioned before, that 30% then is split in half. Half of it goes to you in real time as soon as the blockchain confirms your transaction. The other half goes into the Unilevel. All right, John, let's go ahead and slide over. Thank you. Unilevel. Let's talk about this. Fast start's pretty straightforward. People usually get that. Okay, I refer something, I get a direct commission. Okay, but the Unilevel tends to trip some people up, and the reason I think that it does that is we also have a matrix involved. Okay, so let me make this extremely clear, because there's some terminology you're going to need to understand in order to move forward with this company. Even within this presentation, you're going to need to understand lineage. What is lineage? I get asked that all the time. What is lineage? Okay, well, as you're referring people to CashFX and becoming a bull participant, okay, as you can see here, the bull participant. Also, the fast start was a bull capital. Remember, anytime you refer someone and it generates a commission, you've entered into that bull side. If you don't refer anybody, you wouldn't have a fast start. You wouldn't have a Unilevel, right? You have to refer someone first. So when you start to refer people, what does that look like to you? Well, right here on your first level. All right. So let's say I refer John to CashFX and he decides to get involved. He purchases a package. Okay. I generate that fast start. What happens to John? Where does he fall in my organization? Well, John and every other person that I personally refer, okay, not someone that I referred who referred someone who referred someone, but everyone I personally refer to CashFX that decides to get involved lands on my first level. All right. On that first level, you make 10%. And on the unlock levels with CashFX, you can actually see here, you make percentages on levels 1 through 4. Okay, you make 10% on those levels. So let's say now someone on my first level refers someone. What happens to them? They also would be part of my personal team, okay, within that same lineage, because each person that I personally refer starts a new lineage. So if you refer 5 people, what does that mean? It means you have 5 different lineages that you've started, okay? Now, if John is one of my lineages, he's one of my downlines, and he refers someone, that person he refers is going to go on to his second level, onto my second level because it's on his first. That person refers someone else, that's on John's second and my third, okay? So it just starts building up. And then once you get down to your level and you've qualified as executive, okay, we'll go through qualifications. This opens up as executive, opens up your 5th level. Okay, actually, it opens up, I take that back, your 5th and your 6th level. Okay, and you're making 20% on the 5th level and 20% on the 6th level. Okay, so important to understand that as you start to build your team, as you help others build their team, because CashFX is all about helping other people. That's why Waskar launched this company. He had something he could have kept to himself and gone on and become a billionaire with and never had a problem, financially for the next few generations of his family. But that's not what he wanted to do. He wanted to give you guys the opportunity to do that exact same thing, okay? I'm not saying everybody that's on this presentation is going to become a billionaire. I think that if you apply yourself, you'll do extremely well with this company, okay? It's all based on your own personal efforts. But from what we've seen, track record over the last 9.5 months, if you apply yourself, you can do extremely well here. Okay. So as you continue to progress and you're helping others build their team, it opens up different levels. All right. So you got your executive that opens up levels through 6. Okay. Then you've got your manager position opens up levels 7 and 8 for a 5% override on those 2 levels. You become a director, opens up your 9th level. Here's something really special. When you become part of the President's Club, okay, again, I'm going to show you at the end how to do that. But when you become part of the President's Club, it opens up your 10th level for 5%. Okay, so understand exponential growth and how big that 10th level should be. If you've been building out, let's say you got 3 or get 3 or get 3 or 5 or get 5, whatever, you've got a huge 10th level that you're overriding at 5%. But on top of that, what happens when those people on your 10th level start referring? Now you get to override to infinity. Okay, you'll get 1% of everybody who comes into your organization, one of the lineages that you created underneath yourself. Every time someone joins beyond the 10th level, you're going to make 1%. Pretty huge right there. Okay, become an ambassador. It's going to increase to 1.5%. become a global ambassador. Now you can override to infinity at 2%. Now, that doesn't have anything to do with levels 9, 1 through 9. That's just levels 10 to infinity. All right? So I think I covered that pretty clearly, John. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide here for everyone. Force matrix. The reason I spent so much time on the unilevel is because when we come to the force matrix, you needed to understand the unilevel before you can understand the matrix. They're very similar in some ways, but extremely different in others. So in your unilevel, first off, where does the money come from to compensate everybody in the matrix? Okay. What we have is every time someone generates a trade earning or generates a fast start or a unilevel or any type of compensation that's going to hit your balance, you want to withdraw that money from your balance. Okay. When you do that, there's a 20% withdrawal fee. But just like the product sales on the unilevel, okay, and the fast start, the company gives 100% of that back. Same thing here, okay? This is a performance-driven company. This company is one of the first I've ever seen that doesn't depend on new signups coming in every day. They literally could close the doors and have a completely closed ecosystem that will continue to evolve and grow. Even the last person coming in could still make their way up to the $100,000 package and absolutely change their life, all right? This company doesn't depend on new signups. That 20% withdrawal fee is when anytime you take money out of your balance and you want to take it to your BTC wallet, okay, that 20% is charged. 100% of that 20% gets paid back to the field, all right? You get half of that through your matrix bonus. So half of that 20% is going right here to the matrix to feed everybody in the matrix. I'm going to talk more about the matrix. The 10% of it goes towards your matrix check match. Okay, so as you're referring people into the company, they're dropping into your unilevel. They're also being placed into your matrix. Okay, now the matrix is a bear capital accelerator. And you might be saying, well, why? Well, you don't have to refer anybody to be in the matrix. All you have to have is a trade contract. That's it. Okay, so everybody gets to play in the force matrix. Now, if you're not referring people, your matrix may not be growing as fast as somebody who is referring people, okay? It's just natural, right? If you refer people who refer people, you grow faster, okay? But if you haven't referred anyone, there's other ways for you to be compensated through something called spillover. That comes from your upline. And the way that this system works is, let's say that you've gone and you've referred 3 people right away your first day, okay? Let's use a perfect scenario. You come in, you refer your first 3 people. Well, those first 3 fell on your level 1 of your unilevel, but they're also going to fall on your level 1 of your matrix, okay? And on your level 1, you'll get 3% right there as well. Now, what happens if you have, say, 5 people that you just personally referred in your first day? Well, there's only 3 spots on your first level of your matrix, so the next 2 will have to drop to your second level, right? And then anybody these people start to refer in, okay, is going to start to fill out this matrix at the 3 by 10. So each new person brought into the matrix has their first 3, who have their first 3, who have their first 3, so on and so forth. But it doesn't mean they're going to get to fill those first 3 spots because, again, it's forced from the top down, okay? So as they continue to grow, you'll see you've got 3% on your second level, 3% on your third. But look at the numbers in the center of this graphic here, guys. The numbers start going up: 3, 9, 27, 81, 243, 729, 2187, all the way down here to your 10th level, which is 59,049 people, with a total perfect scenario. If you had a full matrix, you'd have 88,572 people in your matrix that you get to override. Okay, and then the percentages down the side are based on each level that someone falls in. So let's say I just referred someone today, but my first 6 levels are full. Well, even though they fell on my first level of my unilevel, they'll still fall on the 7th level of my matrix. I don't want to fry your brain with that, but that just because they're personal to you on your unilevel does not mean they fall on your first level of your matrix. It's impossible. There's only 3 spots on your unilevel. After that, they all fill in. But what's really cool about that is as you continue to refer more and more people, what are you doing? You're also filling up the matrix for people underneath you, which is bringing blessings to them because then they get to share in the matrix income. All right. Now, you'll notice I left 40% out. I talked about the 50% to the matrix, 10% to the matching matrix bonus. The other 40% is going into the leadership program. Now, what I really want to point out about the withdrawal fee, guys, is it's again 100% of that gets paid out to the field. It's not income to the company. It's an intentional element to the project that basically has created residual income for everybody. Okay, absolutely unique. Love it. Again, Matrix is bare capital. John, next slide, please. But at the same time that the matrix is bare capital, because you don't have to refer anybody to get in there, you can take advantage of the force matrix check match. Okay. So if you are one of the individuals that did refer someone into CashFX and they land, and they're in your matrix now, all right, and you start to refer more, and that person refers more, they start building out this matrix. Let's say that individual made $1,000 this month on their matrix income. Well, you're going to get a check for 10% of that, or $100. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. Is that anybody you personally refer in, they're going to end up in your matrix, and whatever they make on the matrix each month, you're going to get 10%. Now, some of the different levels here, as you can see, what does it take to, basically qualify through these different levels? Well, a $300 and a $600 package, you're going to get levels 1 through 3. Okay. 3% override. Excuse me. When you reach the $1,000 package level, you open up the 4th level, or 5% override on those. At the 2,000, you've opened up your 5th level, 5,000, your 6th, 10,000, your 7th. Now you're going to say, look, there's packages in between here. Yes, but these are the benchmarks that you have to reach in order to open up that next level. Okay. For example, at 5,000, you'll open up level 6. Well, you might be thinking, well, there's a $7,500 package. Yes, but you have to reach the $10,000 level in order to open up the level 7 on that. Okay. But if you also notice, we have up to $100,000 package, but in order to maximize your earnings within the matrix, you only need a $30,000 package. Now, I'm not telling you don't continue to upgrade, because I think that's one of the smartest things that everybody can do, but you don't have to in order to maximize the opportunity through the matrix. $30,000 package is what you need. Okay, John, let's go to the next slide here. This is the leadership program, guys. This is what I've been leading up to. All this terminology, all this information I've been feeding to you guys here over the last few minutes is so you can understand this roadmap to success. All right. You need to mentor people. You need to help people. Don't just bring them in and then drop them off and hope the system takes care of them. Now, obviously, through the marketing system that my company's developed for CashFX, the CashFX marketing system, the different autoresponder series that we have go out when someone first signs up with CashFX, it does give them what to do each day to get the fastest success. But this is a people business, all right? So you really want to be engaged with at least your leaders, all right? And stay in touch with them. Continue to help them develop the teams and who develop the individuals all the way down, all right? Let's not leave anybody out here. So as you start to grow as a leader, you're going to reach different ranks. You've got the executive level. With executive, you only need 500 personal volume points, which is a $1,000 package, okay? And then refer 3 people who generate a combined total of 25,000 group volume, okay? So remember what I said, your personal package does not help you advance, all right? It's the PGV, it's the point group volume that helps you advance, okay? So what your people under you and under them, what they're doing is what advances you through the ranks, okay? The next level of leadership here is managers. Okay, still the 500 point personal volume package, or $1,000 package, but now you'll notice the PGV has gone up to 75,000. Okay, and you need 2 executives from 2 lineages. Remember I talked about lineages? Anybody you personally refer becomes a new lineage. They all fall on your first level of your unit level, but it's separate lineages for each new person you referred. They're not one team. They are your team, but they're individual teams at the same time. Okay, so one team would not cross over to the other one and market over here, or vice versa. It just doesn't happen like that. You have individual teams underneath you. So you need 2 executives from 2 different lineages. That's not 2 per lineage. That is 1 over here and one over here. Very simple. And you get the 75,000 point volume, you become a manager. So you help two people advance into executive, which open up more levels for them to override. You became a manager. Okay. Now your next step in all of this is let's become a director. You'll notice that we still have the 500 PV there. 250,000 group volume. So it's jumped up there. And then you need to help those two executives become managers. You see? So you start to develop this relationship where you're working with your leadership. Well, when you're working with them, they're working with their leaders who are working with their leaders, so on and so forth, all the way down. So we got a good coverage and everybody's getting the communication and the assistance in which they need to become successful. So when you become a director, all you've done is taken those two executives and help them become managers, which pushes you to a director level. Okay. Here's the important one. This is where everybody wants to shoot for, the President's Club. At President's Club, we'll go through some of the prizes and things that you guys are going to get to experience through your involvement here. But at the President's Club level, this is the one that opens up the 10th level, okay, on your unit level. But remember, it also opens up levels 11 through infinity, where you're getting a 1% override. How did you get here? Well, you needed a group volume of 1 million personal group volume points, okay, which means you've got about $2 million in packages that your team has signed up, okay, has referred. You need to also help 3 people become directors from 3 different lineages. Well, you've been mentoring 2 people, so I suggest, looking ahead, that you always mentor, 3 to 5 people. That's not too much. 3 to 5 people is very easy to work with and still maintain your full-time job if that's what you're doing, okay? Very, very simple. But you help 3 people become directors. So that's a director in one leg, director in another leg, director in your third leg. Boom, you got it. Become president. Absolutely opens up the world to you. Next, you become ambassador. It's 5 million group volume, 3 presidents. So those 3 directors now help them become president. All right. And this doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes evolution. It takes time to develop that leadership skill and then pass that down. Some people are going to do it faster than others, and that's absolutely okay. But you help 3 people become President's Club. You also just increased, remember, levels 11 through infinity to 1.5%. Global ambassador, 15 million group volume. Help those 3 presidents become ambassadors. You become global ambassador, and it unlocks the 2% global bonus. Now, you'll look over here on the left side. You're going to see leadership matching bonus. I don't want to confuse anybody with this one, but basically what it means is let's say you're president, okay? And then one of your directors moves up and they become president as well, but you're not ready to move to the ambassador position. Okay. What that means is that on that lineage that new president falls in, they're going to cut you off and you're going to get 50% of whatever it is that they're making. Now, all your other lineages, you're still making your full, 1% override on. It's just anybody who catches you in rank. Then when you advance to ambassador, you get the 1.5%. And that person who became president, they're typically going to be trailing behind you there. So they'll get the president, you still get the 50%. And so it just continues to evolve all the way through. But that's called the leadership matching bonus. Again, this is a bull capital because you have to refer at least one person to override these. John, next slide, please. Okay, so these are the prizes that the leadership program entails here. First one that you get is an iPad. Okay, so when you reach executive, which wasn't very difficult, right? Okay, you reach executive, you get an iPad worth $900. John, next slide. Rolex, if anybody's got Rolex on their bucket list, if you don't have your Rolex yet, okay, here's your way to earn this. You don't even need to come out of pocket. Instead, the company will give you a Rolex when you reach the level of manager with an estimated value of about $10,000. The travel, okay, this is really exciting. How about a $15,000 travel package for 2 when you reach director level? That's a nice reward. You've worked hard, you've reached director, you need to take a little bit of a break. Maybe you want to take a weekend, maybe you want to take a few days off, okay? Go somewhere cool. Fiji, Dominican Republic is a great place. There's all kinds of neat places, the French Riviera. You can go to these places and actually have a very, very nice vacation on $15,000 for 2 people. You're not budgeting at all at that point. So then you reach the President's Club, which we have some presidents in the company or a team, I should say, partnership that reached the level of president, and they did get their Porsche. Okay, that was actually given to them at the first event in Panama in November. So $100,000 to put towards a Porsche right there. Now, the cool thing about this, guys, is this is not a lease car program. Okay, this is a here's your title program. So if you want to step up above the 100,000, that's totally up to you. But the company will give you $100,000 towards your Porsche. You can literally walk away from the table with the title. John, next slide. Next level, ambassador. Okay, this is where you get your Ferrari, $200,000 towards your Ferrari. So depending on which Ferrari you're looking for, you could walk away again with title. So this is not a payment program. This is a title program. Lamborghini. All right, this one should get everybody pretty excited. Global ambassador. Now you've reached the top rank. You want to feel great, and I suggest getting your Lamborghini wrapped. Okay, so people ask you, how the heck did you get that, and what is Cash FX? Right? It becomes a marketing piece for you, and but $500,000, you can get a pretty nice Aventador for that, guys. So absolutely one of the most exclusive, supercars out there, and you have the opportunity to earn it right here.
And one of the best advertising pieces you could probably ever not spend money on.
Exactly, right? Yeah, I had a friend several years ago, it was probably 15, 16 years ago, that bought a Saline, not a Mustang Saline, but a Saline, okay? And he wrapped it. And he quickly, not only did he, love the way the wrap looked, but he also, I say wrap, back then it wasn't a wrap, it was more the graphics down the side. Ask me how, and put a phone number on there, and your company name, and but it blew up his downline like nobody's business, because everybody wanted to know, how did you get that car?
How?
Yeah, how is that possible?
And honestly, Ron, we talk about these in our calls too, and this lends itself to CFX success in all areas. Really, we've all heard before, find someone who's accomplished what you're looking to accomplish and do what they've done. And a lot of times when people start seeing the larger numbers and they hear about people hitting these kinds of prizes, or they're making $10,000 or $20,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 a month, it becomes a little bit overwhelming. How could that be possible? But the reality is that the same roadmap that made you your first $100 in this rewards plan can make you your first $1 million.
Absolutely. Which
it doesn't have to be complicated.
We've reached that level yet, but I know we have folks in the company approaching that if they haven't already reached it in the first 9.5 months.
Yeah, pretty exciting. So I want to thank you on behalf of everyone, because I see the chat room lighting up. You do such an awesome job of and it's no surprise, considering you're right there when all of this is being coded and programmed. But you do such a wonderful job of breaking this down so that it's very easy to explain, and everyone loves it when you do. And we're really grateful that we were able to get you on the call for this Friday, and that's leading us in the weekend. So have a fantastic weekend for you, Ron, and have a fantastic weekend, everyone on the call. Please enjoy yourselves this weekend. Be safe, be smart, and don't forget to share your CFX platform with those that matter to you.
Absolutely. Thanks, John, for the opportunity to speak today. Everyone have a great weekend.
Thanks, everyone.